Hello, welcome to Star Trek Into Darkness, episode 15, XV, for all you Romans.
Roman numeral aficionados.
Or any of you Romans.
It's true.
Whether you be Romans, or maybe you just like their numbers.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sergio.
I'm Sean.
And we saw a new Star Trek. We saw a new Star Trek movie like 2 days ago.
Yes.
We saw it.
2 days ago at this time, I think the movie was just starting up. So we saw it at the IMAX in the third dimension.
This is crazy. This is crazy to me. I guess I would have been excited for a new Star Trek movie after I had seen Star Trek 2009 because I love Star Trek 2009.
It's so much fun.
Thought it was dope, and so naturally I'd be like, I can't wait for the next one.
Right.
But I don't think I would have been. I'm pretty sure I would have been as excited had I not, done this project.
It's true. But I think it also put everything in a weird perspective for me because I finished watching Undiscovered Country 2 days before we saw the new movie. A day. So we did it Tuesday night. Yeah. You came over and held my hand for the last 15 minutes.
It explains the plot to you.
Right. He's like, see, the Klingons of the Federation don't want peace. Well, some of them do. Red Foreman does, but...
Yeah. The Fu Manchu Red Foreman.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, and the next day, we're... For those of you who can't see through your listening devices, Sergio's stroking his imaginary Fu Manchu beard.
The mustache part, not the beard part.
Right.
But
very Michael Parks as Pai Mei in Kill Bill 2.
Yes.
But yeah, the very next day we were in line to see a brand new Star Trek movie and a completely different aesthetic, completely different sort of take on the mythos and that world. But I guess we should just dive right into it, right?
Well, let's. This is going to be. It's going to be spoiler heavy.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie yet,
you might want to hold off on listening to this podcast. This episode of this podcast. Maybe go back and enjoy one of our older podcasts, or
jump forward to our live recordings when those come out at some point.
If they're listening to this episode when it comes out, this is the latest episode that's available.
True. Well,
break into my house and steal my laptop and listen to the two-parter. That's
or don't steal it. Just get the files.
Oh
drive.
Thumb drive. Just pop it in.
Right.
I'm a heavy sleeper. I sleep with my window open. That's actually true. It just gets so hot. I'm staying with my aunt and my uncle right now. And I don't know if
you live under the stairs.
I don't know
Harry Potter style.
if they know that they have a AC unit. It gets so hot in my room, and maybe it's because I have the TV on and the Xbox on.
Well, I can say as somebody who lived with his parents till he was 25, more or less, in a small bedroom.
It's claustrophobic. It's not actual heat.
It's just claustrophobia. No, wait, because Obviously, I had a little bit of spending money and no bills up until I was 25, so I started accumulating electronics, and at a certain point, like, when you got them all going at once, you got the TV hooked up to the stereo system and you're running the laptop, it gets pretty damn hot in a bedroom.
But, I don't know.
Especially in I grew up in an apartment that was pretty poorly circulated and with a stingy dad who did not want to run the AC.
I don't think they run the AC.
At all.
Not at night, I don't think.
It's nighttime.
It gets so damn hot. Sometimes.
Well, it's going to be free. You're staying at our place tonight, me and Becca's, so you will freeze to death.
Why
tonight
is that?
Because we are going to the Dallas Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, the Communist Convention, where we will join our comrades.
So, let's talk about that for a second. Let's give... If someone's listening to this episode and they're like, "Oh shit, I haven't seen Star Trek Into the Darkness yet.
Right.
I can't listen to this. It's going to be so spoiler heavy." Let's give them a few more minutes of stuff they can listen to.
Okay.
I want to discuss this really quickly. You watched The Great Gatsby.
I did.
This is based on a book that's decades old. So
almost 100 years. Yeah. So if you haven't read it yet, then fuck you.
So if you're worried about spoilers on that, TS. Tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk's no good.
Right. Well, also, you probably haven't taken an English class either because...
I haven't read it. And I did take an English class.
Well, college level?
Yeah.
And you still managed to...
I managed to wiggle out every single time.
You're like, I dropped the class.
I was like, no thank you. I saw the syllabus on the first day and I crumpled it up, threw it at the teacher's face, and walked out. Very symbolic gesture.
But yeah, I did. Becca and I saw Baz Luhrmann's.
Have you read Lord of the Flies?
Yes.
Do you read it for high
school
an English class?
I read it for honors English senior year.
Animal Farm.
I actually haven't.
Okay, I see. I read Animal Farm. Maybe it just depended on the teachers. Someone's like, I like talking animals. And someone's like, I
like kids killing each other.
And then, they all agreed on the kids killing each other.
Right.
Like, one's like, I like talking animals. The other's like, I like, megalomaniacal, like, 19 dudes in 19...
Yeah, dystopian future. Or, wait, what are you going
Great Gatsby.
Oh, okay, yeah. Self-made man who turns out to be a bootlegger.
Is he? I thought he was like a crazy guy.
No. Gatsby's not crazy.
Oh, I thought he was kind of like not like crazy, but like kind of like a super villain. Like
no, he's not a super villain. He's a romantic who resorts to some not so great means to achieve a dream.
That's me. That's my.
Gatsby's a romantic. He's not an evil genius. So you don't know the story, do you?
I don't know it at all.
So you're one of the people I told to fuck off. Right?
I guess so. Well, I mean, I don't care about spoiler alerts.
Yeah, for The Great Gatsby. Guess who Leonardo DiCaprio's playing? You'll never guess. John Harrison.
What? Benedict Cumberbatch?
That's right. I'm a total cumber bitch, so I was excited about that.
Well, in terms of it's directed by a Mr. Baz Luhrmann,
yes,
an Australian gentleman
who directed a movie called Australia, better known for some other pictures.
How does not in terms of quality, but I guess in terms of scope and
his aesthetic.
tone, the aesthetic. How's it stack up with Romeo and Juliet? William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Because that's another classic piece of literature that he adapted onto the silver screen
and did a magnificent job of too. That Romeo and Juliet's pretty goddamn amazing.
Pretty awesome. Pretty badass.
It seemed to me that he does. You can see the Baz Luhrmann touches here and there, and it is bigger than the book.
So much rap.
There's not that much rap.
I was gonna say, did it give you a newfound appreciation for rap?
No. Jay-Z did do, I think, the score, but they didn't. It wasn't actually that rap heavy. There was a lot more jazz in it, like period appropriate music that I thought there would be.
Because the soundtrack is looks like a
mixtape made by
The Source, The Source magazine.
It's got some Lana Del Rey on it. That's white. White people like her, right?
They love her.
Do black people like her?
I don't know.
Indifferent. They don't want to kill it. Jay-Z must think she's okay. Or Baz Luhrmann fought for her. He's like, listen, Jay-Z,
no,
you get a thing or two to learn about white people.
White people love Jay-Z.
Yeah, he's like, I think I know enough about white people.
Boz, listen here. BL, come on. Jay-Z, man. That guy...
I don't know that much about him.
That guy went from being a drug dealer, from selling crack rock, to being on the verge...
One of the foremost entertainers of our time.
Well, I mean, he's a legitimate, entrepreneur businessman. And I don't say that,
The Godfather.
He's legit now. He doesn't do anything. He hangs out with the fucking president of the United States. That dude is the living, breathing embodiment of the American dream.
It's true.
This dude grew up in the projects selling fucking slinging rocks, and now he's thinking about being a sports agent. Fucking why not?
Because why not?
He's
already done everything
Is part owner of an NBA franchise.
Really? Which one?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Wow.
Moved them from New Jersey into Brooklyn, to the BK. Has helped build a giant new stadium in the heart of Brooklyn. Fucking gets to pound babies into one of the most beautiful women on the planet, Beyonce.
Really?
She's pregnant with her second kid. Her second
pound babies. You're such a romantic. You're the Jay Gatsby of this podcast. I'm the Nick Carraway sitting there narrating your epic rise and fall.
But yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. Good for Jay-Z. Good for Mr. Sean Carter.
I'd say it's a more restrained Baz Luhrmann film. I mean, it's still recognizably his, but it didn't go nearly as big or broad as he usually goes. Although it's gorgeous. It was filmed in 3D. I think it might be one of the first, I know there have been independent films, and Herzog did a documentary in 3D, but I think it's the first mainstream drama to be filmed in 3D, and it's pretty extraordinary looking. It's just gorgeous. I think Becca liked it more than I did. I liked it okay. I mean, it's a very faithful, almost slavish adaptation of the book, but it kind of flags in its energy in places. But the cast is amazing.
I read part of one review that said it starts to lose steam the second half. Like the first half, just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. And in the second half, they paused to actually show. I mean, do you care if I tell you? Like,
go ahead.
Well, the
book is 100 years old.
That's true. The whole thing
has it been that long?
It's 29, I think. It can't 26.
Okay, because I wanted to say it was like 80.
Yeah,
and I was like, maybe
I guess now it would be coming up on its 90th birthday.
What's the 90th anniversary?
I don't know.
I know they have like modern. Yeah, you look that up. You got your iPod. This is quickly becoming an Apple home.
It really is.
This is quickly becoming a mausoleum
of Apple,
a memorial, a tribute to Steve Jobs. Well, I know that they have like classic anniversaries, like anniversary gifts, and then more modern, because like classic ones are like, oh, like a dove's feather. Like,
right.
I'm not gonna do that. Although there are probably some hipsters in Williamsburg who shop at modcloth.com who are like, oh, I definitely want a dove's feather.
1925, so I guess the book is 88 years old.
What's the 90th anniversary?
So the 90th anniversary would be, well, it was published in 25.
Well, I mean, like, what's the gift? Like, what?
On a wedding? What's the 90th?
Like, when I go to Fitzgerald's grave, what do I put down? Do I put down a dove's feather, or do I put down something more modern, like an iPod Nano? Like, honey, I love you. We've been married for 90 years.
Here's the cheapest iPod.
Oh my God, 90 years.
Yeah, you couldn't be married 90 years. Nobody has survived long enough outside of Bible times, if you believe.
Well, I mean, if you got married at like 6 or 17 or 18,
okay.
They both have to be 108. And we all know that marriage kills people young.
So the 60th anniversary, you're supposed to do a yellow diamond. Also, you could more modern, just a regular diamond that's not as yellow, that doesn't look like pee.
It doesn't look like someone soaked it in urine.
Let's see. For 100th anniversary, all right, 90th. Here we go. Traditional gifts: diamonds and emeralds. So basically, at a certain point, you're just
like
showing out diamonds.
You're just like you're a fucking like a shop,
like a Raja.
Yeah, like jewels and diamonds for everyone.
Yeah, well, if you've been married that long, you should be celebrating, because that's an accomplishment. One, that you lived long enough.
One,
because we're assuming you weren't married at birth, so you lived a while. And you've been married 100 years. Yeah. Let's say you lived at least 18 years. So you're at least 118 years old at that point. You should be sharing the wealth. Lord knows you've probably made enough good investments to cancel out your bad investments. Because you've lived long enough.
They keep going up and down.
Exactly.
But what were we talking about?
We're talking about the story and why it slows down.
Yeah. There's a part.
Well, the whole story is basically, it's being narrated by Nick Carraway, but it's really about Gatsby, who was basically a poor kid who happened to save a rich man from drowning, and ended up basically inheriting his money and using that wealth. What little wealth he had left, he managed to parlay that with bootlegging to become this massive millionaire. But he's pretty entrenched in the New York crime scene because of that. And the whole reason he's done any of this is because he's trying to get back to this girl that he fell in love with whenever he was like a poor, I think, private. I don't think he was even an officer. I can't remember, though, so don't shoot me if I'm wrong about that. This girl who he fell in love with, Daisy, and who he basically, he had no money, and he knew that he couldn't marry her until he had money, because she comes from money. So while he was off trying...
Is she bougie like that?
I don't think she was, but her family wouldn't have allowed it. And we're talking 1920s America, so that old money thing still had a pretty tight hold. And there is a whole thing in the book about old money and new money. But while he was away trying to make his fortune, she got married.
To Spider-Man?
No. She got married to Owen Lars from episode 2, Joel Edgerton, the guy from Warrior.
The guy from Warrior?
The guy who wasn't Tom Hardy, the
brother?
MMA movie. Yeah, the other one.
I like how you referenced that, because I would know about it, right?
Yeah, it's exactly.
I never watched it.
Me neither. It's on Netflix, and it's supposed to be amazing. We both should.
Amazing? I heard it was all right.
It got.